Breaking news, alert, alert, this just in. We have another humongous PokeRogue updates on our hands, guys. Hello there, champion. Welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day, and if you're new to this channel, nice to meet you. My name is Knetterkoekje, and welcome. It's not even been a month, and we already get an update of this size, and they have another update planned for next week. This is insanity. I mean, I was aware the PokeRogue devs were cooking, but they were cooking this much? Holy moly, I love it. So yeah, let's quit the yapping and get straight to the point. It's time to cover the most recent PokeRogue update. Hello announcements! Happy September, our newest update is here. Please check the changelog and balance changelog for the full details once both of those are up. We will get into those later in the video. A short summary of major additions include the run history, save up to 25 runs per device, a new challenge modifier, inverse mode, where all your type matchups are flipped. Interesting. We are getting new evil teams. Test your skills against 3 new teams. Team Skull, the Adder Foundation, and the Macro Cosmos organization. Very cool. And last but not least, we're getting a new biome layout. Awesome. Alright, let's jump into all the juicy details, shall we? First up, the major changes. We now have a run history and we can save up to 25 runs per device. Now don't be mistaken, these are not save slot files, but every time you finish a run, your run goes to the run history and you can export it, share it with friends, or replay your run, as you wish. Dear viewer, please allow me to ask for your support. A sub and like help out the channel more than you would think. If you find this video helpful and or entertaining at all, please consider using your superpower. Thanks. We have a new challenge mode called Inverse Battle, where all the typings are inversed. However, you can still use the type hints as they will work with the inverse types. But that kind of trivializes the mode, so if you're gonna try it out, I advise you to try it without the type hints, because that seems way more fun to me. And we got some new villains! Lucamine and Chairman Rose. Time to test our skills, guys. For the minor changes, we got new audio settings to better customize our gameplay experience. Players can now choose the default location of the shop cursor in settings display. That's very nice, even though I think the default location was just great. And I'm happy we can change it because I was just playing around a little bit and I noticed the shop cursor was at a different location. I was like, wait, all my muscle memory, what happened? But we can just change it back if you want to. The voucher window can now be found in the achievement window and you can easily swap between them by pressing spacebar. Improved indicators for type effectiveness, correctly representing type changing moves and abilities like Hidden Power and Pixelate, and I reckon also Conversion, for example, because there was a little visual bug with that too. However, nice. Gigantamax forms have been rebalanced with new abilities and stats. Okay, interesting. I need to have a deeper dive of this to say anything conclusive, that is. Partner Eevee and Gmax Eevee can use their signature moves. It was about time. Eevee was really lacking their sig. Changes to biomes, TMs and egg moves, and I guess we dive into the details a little bit later. And then we have some sprite and icon updates, which is always nice if they polish it up. Then we have a couple changes to moves. Dark Void has its Gen 6 accuracy of 80%. Zippy Zap has been reverted back to its LGPE implementation, so I guess the original implementation. Addressed bugs impacting Destiny Bond, Decorate, Lunar Blessing, Gravity and Jawlog. And damage of single target moves in double battles is now correctly calculated. Okay, nice, nice, nice. We got some ability update and changes. They implemented Forecast, which is the signature ability of Cast Form. Very nice, I love Cast Form. And they addressed bugs impacting Moody, Disguise and Pixelate, and other similar abilities. As per usual, with any PokeRogue update, we have a bunch of quality of life changes as well. We have various improvements to the starter select UI, however, not the one thing I am kinda missing, which is a search bar, so you can just type a Pokemon and it shows up. We got visual improvements to the IV scanner when using it in Legacy UI mode. We can now skip the final boss encounters dialogue, but I don't really see why you would. It's clearly the best part of a classic run. They smoothed out inconsistent menu behavior during gameplay. Now, for example, there was a visual bug where the egg list and the egg gacha didn't appear in the menu, so supposedly this is fixed now, I think. And they fixed the bug where Pokemon would not gain HP after evolving, including several other miscellaneous bug fixes. There have been a ton of balance changes with this update, and the main focus being on the biome transition changes and the Gigantamax form rebalance. Note that these biome transition changes are not the biome rework, they are simply adjustments for now to help fix the problems with the current map while they work on the actual biome rework. So what exactly did they change to biomes? Grassy Fields now has a chance to spawn on construction site with a 1 in 2 chance. Beach now has a 1 in 3 chance to send you to island. Seabed now has a 1 in 3 chance to send you to volcano. Mountain has a chance of 1 in 2 to send you to dojo, and wasteland is a 1 in 2 roll as well. Slightly overdue for my mono dragon challenge, but it's fine. Desert now has a chance to bring you to construction site with a 1 in 2. And Meadow has a chance to put you into Fairy Cave with a 1 in 1 roll, so guaranteed. Volcano now has a 1 in 3 chance to bring you to Ice Cave. Dojo has Jungle added with a 1 in 2 roll, and Temple is also a 1 in 2 roll. Factory will no longer send you to Plains, and instead you'll go to Tall Grass. And Laboratory is a 1 in 3 roll from Factory, so a lot less rare than it used to be. Construction Site now has a 1 in 2 chance to send you to Dojo. Fairy Cave to Space is now a 1 in 2 roll. Temple can now send you to Desert with a 1 in 1 roll, and Swamp and Ruins are a 1 in 2 roll. I don't really understand this, because a 1 to 1 roll would mean 100%, but maybe I'm mistaken. Right, and lastly, Snowy Forest has a chance of 1 in 2 to send you to Lake. At least that's how I think it works, but maybe it's different odds, I'm not sure. Please correct me on that if you do know how it works exactly. Not too many changes to passives and act moves this update, but they did change something about Ho-Oh and Cresselia. Ho-Oh's Drought is now Magic Art, which is kind of weird because Ho-Oh was already in a really bad spot and this is a nerf. And Cresselia's Unaware has become Shadow Shield. I don't really know how I feel about that. I don't think it changes much about the mon. Instead of Spore, Drowsy now gets Dark Void. Okay, Drowsy became Dark Ray. Interesting, that's cool. And Ho-Oh Solar Blade becomes Precipice Blades. Okay, that is a good upgrade. I take it back. That's definitely a buff. And Dark Ray's Searing Shot and Spore became Fiery Dance and Make It Rain. Interesting. So Dark Ray is the new Goldango? Now we have an Eternatus boss moveset Partial Revert, aka changing one move back, which is Sludge Bomb to Cross Poison, which is nice, because I feel like Eternatus should have both physical and special attacks, because it's so stupid if it has only special attacks. You just take X special defense and you completely trivialize the fight. Whatever team you have, it doesn't even matter. So yeah, that's a great choice if you ask me, but in my opinion, Eternatus should have a way wider move pool, so you kind of never know what you're gonna get, and it's always scary and interesting. Then we have a couple G-Max changes. They removed and added the secondary type for G-Max Snorlax. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is just weird phrasing and they simply removed the secondary type and that's it. And they adjusted the stats of G-Max Rillaboom, Cinderace and Inteleon. I hope they didn't really nerf them too bad, because I love all three of these mons. Now this is something I really like. Perspective and explanation. Why did they make these changes? Well, biomes suck. Changes that should hopefully last until the Fable biome rework is in testing phase and more needed changes are done to accommodate the new ways biomes transition. I mean, I think we can all universally agree that biomes did kinda suck in general, so really nice. W devs. Both of the two egg and passive change Pokemon felt quote-unquote off after the changes. They're either underwhelming or weak and they need a buff, or they are OP and they need a nerf. I don't really know what they mean by off, but yeah. Darkrai and Drowsy changed because of the Dark Void change, so I guess the move Dark Void received the change that we have yet to cover. The changes to Eternatus have been made because the dev claims to be evil and they love crits, also special defense walls and drops cheesed it and made the fight trivial. Right, okay. I guess I was being optimistic and hoping for too much when I thought we were gonna get some actual insights in why they changed things, but yeah, apparently it's because they're evil. And the reason why they changed the G-Max forms is because they're soon to be live. What do you mean that's not a good reason? That's a perfectly valid reason for the changes. Oh wait, I was getting ahead of myself. What are the changes from the developer's perspective? That is what we're looking for. Basically nothing. Wait, what? Just a crushing realization that you'll have to change how biomes connect to each other and track for new stuff when we get a biome rework soon. I mean, fair play, maybe there really isn't that much to say about all of this. There are a couple biome changes we still have to cover, and that is that Grassy Fields can no longer send the player to construction site. Slum can now send you to Swamp with a 1 in 2 roll. Beach can now send you to Island with a 1 in 2 roll. Mountain can no longer send you to Dojo, however it can send you to Space with a 1 in 3 roll. Cave can now send you to Lab with a 1 in 2 roll. Factory no longer sends you to Tall Grass but to Plains instead, and you have a 1 in 2 chance to get to the laboratory. Ruins can now send the player to Mountain with a 1 in 1 roll, and Forest is now a 1 in 2 roll. Abyss will send you to Space and Wasteland with a 1 in 2 roll, and Snowy Forest will send you to Mountain with a 1 in 2 roll. Yep, they did not lie. These are definitely a lot of changes to how biomes work. All in all, I think these changes are really great and should add a lot more biome variety in every run of PokeRogue. I'm very curious to see what the biome rework is going to entail, but these changes are a breath of fresh air to the game, so I'm very content with this. Then for the specifics of the Gmax Snorlax changes... This is Nether from the future. Did I just hear my past self refer to the goat Snorlax as Snorlax? No, Snorlax lacks absolutely nothing. He is the GOAT. I just wanted to clarify this in case there were any misunderstandings. It has -5 defense and +5 speed added to its base stats, and they replaced the Thick Fat ability with Harvest. Munchlax now gains the passive Ripen instead of Harvest. Snorlax was just one detailed example. They actually changed every single Gigantamax form in the game. And the idea is to bring them on par with the Mega Evolutions of Pokemon. Notably with one set ability, which are unique for some Pokemon. The full details of all the Gigantamax state and form rebalances can be found in the GitHub changelog. Unfortunately, there's not a nice document or anything I can share with you guys, but you can find a link to this in the description of this video. The Evil Team additions were already covered, but something to note is that existing saves will likely change what Evil Team you're currently facing. Keep that in mind. That is very important if you're doing some type of self-imposed challenge, so yeah, beware. The Magma Grunt and Admin Pool loses Turtonator for Capsicid and loses Swinub for Rollycolly. Then we have some Evil Team leader changes. These are either quality of life or redistribute to the new Evil Team leaders once to block the duplicates between them. Okay, I see. Archie 2 now has a chance to leap with Empoleon instead of Kingdra. Gorbis/Huntail has been replaced with Overquill. Cyrus 1 no longer has a chance to have Basculegion and his Overquill has been replaced with Glisker. Getsis 2 now leads off with a boss Genesect, which replaces Durant. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. And Darmanitan is now replaced with Basculegion or Jellicent, and Iron Moth has been replaced with Volcarona and is no longer a boss. Lissandre's one's Milotic has been replaced with Clawitzer or Dragalge, and given Malamar as a variation of Heliolisk. Okay, interesting. And lastly, Lysandre's 2's Goldango and Aegislash is replaced with an Iron Moth. With all the added variety to the evil teams and the overhauls of the existing evil teams, which seems to be stronger teams, I think the difficulty is slightly increased, which is something I can only encourage. So I love it. W devs, very nice. Then we have some Gmax related passive changes. We already covered Snorlax, which Harvest turns into Ripen. And then Trubbish, Toxic Debris turns into Neutralizing Gas. Okay, that belongs to Weezing. And nobody but Weezing. Nah, I guess it actually makes sense. It's a literal trash bag, guys. Lastly, Milcery's Misty Surge has become I'm a scat man. Right, let's try it again. Regenerator. We already covered the egg changes, but it's more clear here. We can see that Darkrai's Searing Shot will become Fiery Dance and Darkrai's Spore will become Make It Rain, so it's gonna get both replaced. If you've already noticed this little Easter egg I put in, well played, you are very observant. But yeah, this background footage had the text questionable balancing throughout the entire video, which is clearly a joke the devs made themselves. It would have been a missed opportunity if I didn't put that in. We have officially arrived at the very final slide of my PokeRogue PowerPoint presentation. We already covered Eternatus and Dark Void, however, now it's clear that it has been changed back to its Gen 4 and 6 implementation of 80% accuracy up from 50%, which is what it was. And the good old Zippy Zap has been reverted back to its LGPE implementation and now functions as a 50 base power crit move with +2 priority over an 80 base power raises evasion +2 priority that have caused the death of an extreme unfair prosperity of so many runs. That's very true. But I mean, you could also have Zippy Zap on your team. Oh well, good change I guess. That move was absolutely disgusting, way too busted. There were also a bunch of TM compatibility fixes, which are probably made to be more canonically accurate with the mainline Pokemon games. And last but not least, trainer Pokemon should now be fully evolved by Gym 3. As stated by the devs, I also think that felt very weird to be that high level and still fight unevolved Pokemon. Great change. Partner Eevee and its G-Max form and G-Max Pikachu now learn their signature moves from LGP properly. Once again, you can only find these changes on the GitHub, but feel free to check it out, the link is in the description. With the above, cosplay Pikachu forms no longer spawns Max Mushrooms or Thunderstones in the item pool. Okay, that's a good change. Plains is now less likely of a transition from End Biome in Endless. Okay, that's really good, because it felt like it was a freaking coin flip. It was either Plains or a different biome. That covers every single detail of this huge update, with another update planned for next week, which rumors tell will include the egg hatching skip functionality. You know, that ancient secret lost tech we are all aching for. Personally, I'm really happy with all of these updates, and the added variety to biomes and the evil teams will spice up my challenge runs a ton for sure. What is your favorite part about this update, or perhaps your least favorite? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching my content. Feel free to check out my other PokeRogue related videos, and I hope to see you next time.